Today I'm going to show you a strategy called two-column note-taking, and this strategy is designed to help you actively engage with the lecture while also taking notes in a way that helps you cover all the main ideas and the supporting details, and you do not have to write down everything the professor says, just the most important parts of the lecture. When you go back to study these notes, you're going to have an excellent study guide for your test. So, you will start with a piece of notebook paper. You can draw a line down the center if you want to help you separate the main ideas from the supporting details. Put the main ideas on the left side of the paper like this. Put the supporting details on the right side of the paper like this. Once you learn how to use this method comfortably, you might not want to label it that way anymore. That's not necessary. I'm going to talk about the brain a little bit and how we get things that we learn set in our brain through active processing, just as a way to demonstrate to you how you might use this technique with a lecture that you hear. So I want to talk about what's called becoming an active learner. So there are three principles of deep and lasting learning. Three principles of deep and lasting learning. Anytime you hear your instructor say a number like 3, there are 3 principles of deep and lasting learning. That should be like a clue to you that something important is coming, which is probably going to go in the main idea column. Lists are really important and they're often on tests. So you will want to get the supporting details that go with that list. And the first one is going to be that you connect when you learn with things that you learned before. So prior learning, which involves everything you've ever learned before. So if you took English in high school and you take it again in college, when you take it again in college, whatever you learned in your high school English class, your mind is going to recall that prior learning for your college English class. And then the next thing that will affect your learning is the quality of your processing of the information. So by using some special techniques that are given on the SAILS website, like this technique, you can learn how to process what you learn and hear in lecture better and improve the quality of your processing for deeper and longer lasting learning. And the last one is the quantity of your processing. How much stuff do you process? How much information? We don't want to process too much. We don't want to overload our brains to where we can't remember everything, but we want to study enough. We want to study it enough times so that we remember it. Now the next thing that's really important for prior learning is that we recognize the significance of it. Prior learning is very, very important. So we have to recognize the significance of prior learning to being able to learn new information. So because I listed that as number 1 under supporting details and now I'm talking about it again, this should tell you that it's very important. It's also one of the main ideas that I'm trying to get across to you in this lecture, is that prior learning is very, very significant. Did you notice that I've repeated this about 3 to 4 times now? When your teacher repeats something 3 to 4 times, it's a really good sign that it's going to be on the test. It's also a really good sign that it goes in the main idea column. The reason why prior learning is so important is because it helps speed up your learning process. So it helps you learn faster. So when I'm teaching you something new, like this technique, if you've never seen it before, if you've learned any other note-taking technique before, or if you have learned how to identify main ideas versus supporting details before, you're able to connect the new information that I'm teaching you today to your existing knowledge, and that is how you learn, by connecting new information to existing knowledge. So what I hope this has done for you today is teach you something new and connect it to something old, and stay tuned for more great sales strategies.